Assalamu alaikum. Hi everybody. Today I'm going to talk about the 4 P's of Islamic marketing. And what I want to tell you is that uh, this video blog is not based on a very systematic review of the literature. Actually, it it's not at all based on any systematic review of literature. These ideas, or what I call as four marketing mix paradigms, are just based on my existing knowledge about marketing as well as Islam. And therefore, you should understand that both are not at a very high level. What I basically want to present is much more deeper, I would not like to call it spiritual, um, understanding of the existing 4 P's and relate it with the core ideology of Islam. So as and I'm not going to rank them in any order, means which one is the first P and which one is the second P. I'm just going to talk about them and then call them first, second, third, fourth P. So the first P of the conventional marketing is product. Now we know that our consumption patterns have changed tremendously in the last 40, 50 years. So now we don't buy products anymore. Actually, what we buy are brands, and so when we teach in our classes, and try to define product, right? We define it in so many ways, whether it's tangible or intangible, or it's a set of attributes or characteristics, or is in between tangible and intangible, whether every product got its intangible parts. There's so many ways that I don't want to give a lecture about it. But what we usually do not emphasize is that a product is nothing more than a promise. That's the most important thing that we have to understand and communicate, that a product is nothing more than a promise. So what we buy is not a product, but a promise. And it makes a huge difference when we try to teach it, whether we would like to teach what is a product, or whether we would like to teach what is a promise. Because it's a short video blog, so I can, I will skip the arguments to support, right, whether it is a promise or not, and I will let my audience decide about it, whether a product is a promise or not. But what I would like to emphasize here is that as I tried to define product as promise, I would also like to highlight that one of the most important social and moral value in Islam is keeping your promise. And therefore, if there is anything that exists as such Islamic marketing, its first P should be promise, not product. So that's the first P of Islamic marketing, is promise. The second P in the marketing is place. And by place, actually, we mean the distribution channel. And if you look at the research in the area of retailing and distribution in general, the bottom line is that the distribution should offer a very pleasant experience, because distribution can take place in many forms and shapes, right? It can be impersonal, personal levels. It can be digital and physical levels. So no matter what is the mode or the type of distribution, it provides an opportunity for customer to interact with at least the offerings of a brand. And therefore it is basically the outcome of that interaction is the most important variable. So if you have a pleasant experience of having an interaction with the distribution network, that means that the distribution network is doing everything right. So the bottom line is pleasant experience, or in short, pleasant. If we look at the religious doctrine of Islam, right, their main distribution channel is, was, and will be the mosques. And the mosques also come in many shape and form. Some are very luxurious, others very simple, depending on in which community the mosque was built. But if you want to extract a common feature from the mosques of different types, shapes, and materials, the outcome is going to be a pleasant experience of visiting the place. So again, the pleasant is rooted into the Islamic doctrine of religious distribution, and therefore the second P will be, in my point of view, or should be in my point of view, is pleasant or pleasant experience. One of the most controversial P in our four P's of conventional marketing is promotion. And promotion is controversial because many people think and believe that promotion, if not deceptive, is primarily manipulative in its nature. And if we have a little bit of knowledge of marketing and persuasion, we know that how the marketers use the fundamental flaws in our brain and its inability to resist heuristics. And therefore, at least, if it is promotion is not entirely deceptive, it's very manipulative in its nature. And there is, ample evidence in marketing literature that why there is so much skepticism towards advertising, and why there is a trust deficit towards the corporations, right? It all, boils down to the point that we are a victim of their promotion or persuasive propaganda, but we can do little about it, and therefore we are just angry and upset and annoyed about it, but also helpless. So now it means that, but at the same time, if we try to look at a deeper meaning of promotion, is fundamentally communication, communicating with the customer, presenting your offerings, right? Presenting your ideas, okay? So when it comes to Islam and its doctrine of communicating with its intended target audience, right? Then the Islam used the word preaching, and it means that it is different from promotion, right? And what is the difference between preaching and promotion is that the person who is preaching is absolutely sure that there is, nothing deceptive or manipulative about his offering. The first thing, the first P, that is promise, right? So if you are going to make a right type of promise with your customers, then you can do preaching. But if you are going to come up with a, manipulative or deceptive type of promise with your customer, you have no option but to use promotion. So if you are doing Islamic marketing, then you are going to make the right type of promise, right? And again, I'm not going to define right type of promise. What is the right type of promise, right? We all can reflect about what is a right type of a promise and what is a wrong type of a promise. So if the promise is of right type, then we don't need promotion but preaching, right? So the third P of Islamic marketing is preaching rather than promotion. The fourth P of conventional marketing is price, and there is nothing more, subjective and exposed to manipulation than price, as compared to all other three P's of the marketing. What we know about pricing is that it is very subjective, it is very context bound, and the marketers can exploit a lot because of the heuristics we use to look into the justification of a product price. And despite its inherent weaknesses, this is the mechanism with which both parties feel quite comfortable. However, if we look it from a business perspective, right, they are more proactive in terms of offering a different type of price to its customers. And it's a very, very, essential part of modern marketing, and that is they talk about loyalty programs. And the basic purpose of loyalty programs is to offer a partnership, right? And this partnership is based on that the exchange process create value, and a one-time exchange process creates certain amount of value, and for example a 10-time exchange process will generate at least, if not 10, 6, 7 times more value than the one-time transaction. And because the transactions are creating more value, and therefore the businesses are willing to share it with their customers by offering them compensations, or in its truest sense adjusting the price for them. So it means that the price mechanism was, anchored on partnership mechanism to maximize profits, right? It's very interesting to see that this activity of the business firms is to maximize their profit, right? And the maximization of profit comes through partnerships. So, if we truly believe on having a partnership with the customer, and it's again a paradigm. What I'm talking about are paradigms. So the fourth P of Islamic marketing is not price but partnership, and this partnership is again grounded on the religious philosophies of Islam, right? What is a just price, right? How you can ask about price, right? What are your rights in terms of pricing? What are your social, moral, ethical, and environmental responsibilities, right? That comes with your actions that can increase or decrease the supply of the product or the demand for that product, right? So again, it's a partnership. So I will say in Islamic marketing, the fourth P is not price, but partnership. So that these are my ideas, and these are basically not the functional definitions of four Ps, but I would rather suggest to reflect on them in terms of mental paradigms, how they impact you if you are not selling a product but promise, how it impacts you when you are preaching rather than promoting, how it impacts you when you are looking for the ways to create pleasant experience rather than looking at the ways to distribute your brand, and what will happen in terms of your price justifications when you are trying to offer, or set a price for your partner, right? So please share it if you like it. Please do comment it. There is no claim of these ideas to be scientifically true based on a systematic scientific research process. And in case if somebody already has discussed these ideas, my salute to him and my apologies of not properly referring them. But in case I will write this as a research conceptual paper, then hopefully I am going to do justice with them. Till that time, because I am becoming more and more lazy and super lazy in terms of doing research, so I don't know what I am going to do. But anyhow, maybe this public promise that I should try to write that as academic paper might motivate me to write it. Take care. Looking forward for your comments. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.